Yeah, I didn't get.
Good evening. Welcome. Call to order our Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting for today, March 22nd. Thank you for being here. It's been an exciting meeting. We have some good presentations and some fun events for the kids to be involved with here tonight. I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Larry Smith to lead us in our invocation, and then I'm going to call Miss Thompson's third grade class from Pine Springs forward to help us with the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Okay, I'll call y'all forward in just 1 minute. Please stand.
Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for the beautiful day you've given us here in Fuquay-Varina. Father, we count as a privilege that you allow us to live in this country and in this state and in this community. Father, pray tonight as we debate and discuss issues that affect all of our citizens, that you'll give us wisdom as we deliberate these things and try to make decisions. God, our world is a little bit of turmoil right now. We think of people over in Eastern Europe who are in a war zone right now as we're here, Lord, and we pray for them, pray for their safety. Lord, we think of a pandemic that has swept our globe and swept our country. We pray for those families that's lost loved ones, and we pray that we'll see a day when masks and things like that can be set aside and we can return to what we think is a normal lifestyle. So, Lord, we pray for all of those things. But, Lord, we do pray tonight for this meeting, for these folks that have come and to join us here at this meeting. And, Lord, when this meeting is said and done tonight, I pray that everything that is done and said here tonight would be pleasing in your sight. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Third graders, for Miss Thompson's class, if you'll come forward right up here, Miss Thompson's going to help us do the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. So I'll just come right forward, right here to the front. You can all stand together. It's going to be great. You're going to do a great job. Don't worry. All right, why don't you all line up right there together. Let's face this way, kids. We're going to face the flag right here. Okay? So, all right, you ready? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That was a great job, kids. Absolutely wonderful. And kids, the neat thing about that is we have an official record here in Fuquay-Varina, and every town does, and it's what's called the minutes. And so in our official record of the town, our official diary and journal will state that y'all led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So you can look back here 30 years from now, and you'll see that your class led us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. So thank y'all. That was a great job. And we got a special part of our meeting in a little bit that y'all are going to be a part of too. Our meeting protocol. At this time, I'll ask that our town manager review the meeting protocol for public participation as it relates to this meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, board members. Tonight's meeting is both in person and virtual. Tonight's meeting contains a public comment period and no scheduled public hearings. Due to the hybrid nature of the meeting, the public will be invited to comment both in person and virtually via the Zoom virtual meeting platform. When it is the appropriate time, Mayor Massengill will first call on those wishing to address the town board that are attending in person, followed by those wishing to address the town board via the Zoom platform. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the public comment period should provide your name and address on the registration sheet by the podium prior to the public comment period beginning. All attendees that have joined the meeting virtually have joined muted. If those joining virtually wish to address the town board during the public comment period, they will need to notify the town host that they wish to speak. For the public's benefit that may be joining the meeting via the Zoom platform this evening, please press the raise hand button in the Zoom application to notify the town host that you wish to address the board. Please press star 9 to raise your hand if you're joining by telephone. After an individual has raised their hand, they will enter into a queue. When the time for public comment begins, Mayor Massengill will ask the town host to recognize individuals that have notified the town host that they wish to speak by calling out their name or the last 4 digits of their telephone number. Individuals will be unmuted one at a time and invited to address the town board. We ask all those wishing to address the town board to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. The public is asked to keep all comments to 3 minutes so that all that wish to speak can be heard in a timely manner. And this concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Manager. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the March 7th, 2022 regular scheduled board meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, hearing no corrections or additions, I would make a motion we approve the minutes of the March 7th, 2022 Town Board of Commissioners meeting as presented and recommended.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. First item on our agenda tonight, or next item on our agenda tonight, is presentations. The first presentation is item 4A, a proclamation for the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. More information about this agenda item will be presented by myself and Town Manager Mitchell, Assistant Town Manager Matthews. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, just while you're stepping to the podium, I'll just mention that the purpose of this agenda item is for Mayor Massengill to formally present a mayoral proclamation that proclaims March 22nd, 2022 as the Mayor's Monarch Butterfly Pledge Day here in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. Teachers and students from Pine Springs Prep Academy are in attendance this evening to receive this proclamation and pledge from Mayor Massengill.
Why don't all of the Pine Springs third graders come on up forward with me one more time, please? Pine Springs third graders, come on up here. Parents, you can come forward, take pictures of the kids or anything you like to. That's no problem. All right, y'all come right over here so everybody can see you. We can't hide behind the dais. Well, that's called dais. That's a hard word to say, isn't it? Imagine when you learn how to spell it one day. It's a wild word. So, well, I'm glad that y'all came to our board meeting tonight. I got a group of letters from this class sent to me, and they were the coolest letters you can send somebody. You remember? Everybody remembers what they were? What did they have on it? Butterflies. They decorated the envelopes, they decorated the letters, and they were covered in butterflies, and they were some of the most prettiest envelopes and letters. Definitely the nicest letter I've ever received. And I have saved those, and they are wonderful. And thank y'all so much for doing that. And so what this is about, this is the Pine Springs third grade class led by Miss Thompson. And this is about the Monarch Butterfly Pledge. And so part of the Monarch Pledge is also a mayoral proclamation. So I want to read y'all this proclamation so you know what we're getting ready to do in Fuquay-Varina. All of y'all live nearby, here, either in Fuquay-Varina or nearby too, which is so great. I'm so glad to have you here tonight involved in this. Nobody's bedtime is 7 o'clock, is it? Okay. I could try to say, if you want me to talk for a long time, I'll keep you up late for your bedtime. Okay, so let's read this Monarch Pledge to you right here. Whereas the monarch butterfly is one of the most well-known and beloved North American insects whose multi-generational migration and metamorphosis has captured the imagination of millions in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. And whereas the monarch population has declined approximately 90% since the 1990s as a result of habitat loss and fragmentation, use of some herbicides, and disruptive weather patterns and climate change. And whereas Fuquay-Varina is located within one of the primary known migration routes for monarch butterflies. And whereas the town of Fuquay-Varina has a responsibility to raise awareness to help protect the viability of the monarch butterfly and other pollinators, as pollinators contribute to the vibrant ecosystem, successful local agriculture and gardening, and natural beauty that enhance Fuquay-Varina's high quality of life. And whereas Fuquay-Varina residents, businesses, churches, schools, nonprofits, and homeowners associations can contribute by planting native milkweed and nectar plants to provide habitat for the monarch butterfly and all pollinators that make Fuquay-Varina a great place to live, work, play, and worship. And whereas, with this proclamation, Fuquay-Varina is proud to join mayors across North America that have made the National Wildlife Federation's Mayor's Monarch Pledge in an effort to create and restore healthy habitat for this majestic species through awareness, education, identifying opportunities to provide habitat on town property. Now therefore, I, Blake Massengill, Mayor of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim today, March 22nd, 2022, as Mayor's Monarch Pledge Day in the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. And this is due to y'all. Our wildlife and our environment is so very important for every one of us. And so thank you for bringing this to my attention, and thank y'all for being a part of this. And so I'm going to sign this proclamation into order right now, and y'all will know forever in our minutes, as I mentioned to you earlier, that y'all were a part of this here today. So thank y'all for being here. Mom and Daddies, I'll sign with them, and y'all take any pictures you want to with the kids up front or anywhere you want to.
I didn't see her. Oh, that's way too close.
Official. Way to go, kids. Give it 5. Thank you. Thank you, kids. Don't stay up too late tonight. It's night now. You gotta go to school tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next item on our agenda is another presentation, item 4B, Tree City USA. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Assistant Parks and Recreation Director Newsom, Parks and Director Cox. Gentlemen, come forward.
Good evening, Mayor Massengill, Commissioners. I'm here today to talk about the Tree City USA program that we're seeking. First, for Fuquay-Varina, Tree City USA will be an investment into our future of natural resources. Trees serve many purposes in our community. They're an important part of our green infrastructure, and they pay back in many ways. Many people enjoy the shade and their beauty and the wildlife that lives within them. Although people may not take a second to consider what it takes to maintain a tree, they're an important part. Sorry. Take a second to consider what it takes to maintain a tree. They're an integral and important part of our community and the infrastructure, and here's a number of reasons why. Trees are vital to our community health. They provide clean air, clean water, and psychological well-being. Trees are a legacy for our children, our grandchildren, who will reap the benefit that the trees that we plant maintain today. Trees have a positive impact for our businesses in our community, add curb appeal. By attracting more businesses to our community, we get more shoppers and we bring more dollars to our community. The Tree City USA program is a long-standing program that has been around since 1976, and 135 million people currently live in Tree City communities. As of 2020, 3,676 cities in the U.S. are tree cities. It is a nationally sponsored program by the Arbor Day Foundation in cooperation with the USDA Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. The program is a structure in which the community can build a forestry program by maintaining required standards, which help the community get started in a systematic management of our tree resources. And lastly, it improves the public image, telling our visitors to our community that we care about our environment. The first requirement is that we have a tree board or department. This will fall under our Parks and Rec Advisory Board and our Parks and Rec Department. This board will help oversee the community trees in public. The second requirement is a tree public care ordinance. We'll work with our planning department to come up with this public care ordinance. And this ordinance will ideally give us guidance in planning, maintaining, and removing public trees. The key to this ordinance is to give us an opportunity to set good policy with the law to enforce if necessary. The third one is a community forestry program regarding planning, care, and removal of city trees. And planning activities to support this program. And the community forest programs consist of city workers' salary spent on tree care, tree planting, watering, fertilizing. Equipment rental, purchases, maintenance, Arbor Day expenses, tree conferences, workshops, volunteer labor, and donation of supplies. And fourth and finally, we have to have an annual Arbor Day observance and proclamation. The Arbor Day Celebration will provide an education opportunity for homeowners to understand how to plant and care for their trees, and the elements of conservation and increase awareness of how to appropriately plant around utility lines and such. And it can be designed to fit any community. Important dates. September 1st of this year is when the application date opens up. December 31st of this year is when the application deadline closes. And then this year on April 9th, we are going to have our first Arbor Day celebration, and it'll be at Carol Howard Johnson Environmental Park. So we have been partnering with our local high school. We have a class that has taken upon themselves, they realized how many trees it took to run a class, a single high school class. And they went out and got as many trees as they could donated. And they have donated a number of trees to the town. And we're going to pass out those trees at Carol Howard on the 9th, the ones that they have donated to us. And then on top of that, we are going to put up QR codes along the trail at Carol Howard as an education point. So you can go through, scan it with your phone, and you can see, like, one of them is going to be a dogwood, which is a corn of Florida. It's a native to North Carolina. It's our North Carolina flower. So that key little important facts like that, and that it's a native species. And it'll be from 2 to 3:30, April 9th on 2022. And thank you, guys.
Chris, I appreciate you working on this. You know, had a lot of conversation last year, this board did, and other ones in the community, about having a Arbor Day and being an official Tree City USA community, because we know the importance of trees in our community. and the value that they provide. Last November, I visited Ms. Heidi Callahan's AP Environmental class at Fuquay-Varina High School, and so I know you've been in touch with them and working with them on this Arbor Day right here, and so that helped us get the ball rolling on the proclamation. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for working with that class here in regards to this. I'm going to read the Mayoral Proclamation that's going to be issued on that day for Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton of Nebraska proposed Arbor Day, a secular day of observance to recognize the importance of tree planting and preservation, an initiative later endorsed by every U.S. state, including North Carolina in 1967. And whereas planting and preserving trees is good business, providing a renewable resource for countless wood products, it increases residential property values, enhances the economic vitality of business areas, and beautifies our community. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil by wind and water, moderate the temperature, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Whereas trees filter out harmful particulate matter and other pollutants common in the urban or suburban areas, including rapidly growing areas such as southern Wake County, North Carolina. And whereas trees shade our trees from the sun and provide insulation and create windbreaks, keeping heating and cooling costs during the extreme temperatures of summer and winter low. And whereas trees are a major factor in carbon sequestration and CO2 is a major contributor to global warming that trees put to good use rather than causing harm in the atmosphere. And whereas research shows that trees planted in the city make people happier, reducing stress levels, crime rates, and recovery time for medical patients. And whereas preserving our town's character and identity, as well as its quality of life, are two of the 6 core values of the town of Fuquay-Varina's strategic plan. And whereas the land use ordinance for the town of Fuquay-Varina already mandates planning practices to provide a transition between existing and new development by adequate vegetation separation to create a sense of place and protect natural resources with the intent of creating and enhancing green infrastructure throughout the town. Now therefore, I, Blake Massengill, Mayor of the town of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim April 9th, 2022 as Arbor Day in the town of Fuquay-Varina. I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant and care for trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. I appreciate the high school students being involved with that. Do we have anybody from the high school here tonight? I don't think we did. Okay. It's a great program they're working on, and thank you.
Thank you,
Bringing us
guys.
forward.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is a third presentation, the 2021 North Carolina Main Street Champion Award Recognition. We'll present more information about this item. Y'all step forward up here with me, please. Yes, both of you. Here today in this right here, let's face everybody. Here I have standing up here with me tonight is Bob and Pat Barker, and they're a well-known couple in our community that has done incredible things here in our community and the involvement they've done. And becoming the North Carolina Main Street champion this year was a virtual event, as you know, and you were presented your award here at the Arts Center in Fuquay-Varina, which your family has been extremely involved in and helpful in. This building, you even had a little bit to do with this building right here, and being that your headquarters was located here once before. And as you know, the town of Fuquay-Varina, and we love singing your praise and appreciate what you've done here in Fuquay-Varina. For those of you that may not know in this room, Bob Barker was also a mayor of Fuquay-Varina in his past life, and a mayor of Apex also in his past life. And now, is this your second time for your family being a Main Street champion right here? It's the second time. And so that was Cherryville 2 years ago. And so now Fuquay-Varina. And so twice. So that's 2 things that this couple has done in 2s. And so they do a great job here in Fuquay-Varina. So thank y'all for what you've done being here in our community. Here tonight, the North Carolina Main Street is pleased to recognize Bob and Pat Barker as Main Street champion for dedicated support of the downtown revitalization efforts of Fuquay-Varina. I have one more. I joked with them, as last time I presented it to them, they had to give it back to me to present it again tonight, and so I said, you get to keep it this time. And from that day here also is a picture that we framed for you right here. It shows the two of you right here, and has your daughter and son in it also at the same time. So this is here for you also. Would y'all like, we appreciate what you've done here in Fuquay-Varina. Would y'all like to say any words tonight? Thank you. Thank you,
It's a
Bob.
man of few words.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the first time I've ever only gotten 2 words out of Bob Barker in an occasion.
That's awesome.
Next presentation on our agenda tonight is recognition of our inspection department. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Inspections Director Hennett. Chris?
Mayor, Board of Commissioners, I'm proud to stand before you tonight or whatever to recognize several members of the Inspections Department staff for their hard work and certifications they've achieved. Just to give you a little hint of some idea of what certifications are, you're either issued a probationary certificate, you have a certain amount of time you have to get experience on it wise. Once you have that, take the class, and then you have to take the state exam, and then you're issued a standard certificate. And probationary standard certificates are offered in all trades, building, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and for all levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Once you achieve your level 3 certifications, I make a joke out of it, you can inspect anything from a doghouse to a skyscraper in the state of North Carolina. So with that being said, y'all want to step up front,
Yes.
please? Whatever. So these are all field inspectors, and other members of the department receive certifications as well. And I look forward to sitting in front of you again when they achieve theirs as well. The first one up or whatever is Gary Kennedy. He started us in March of 2017. He'd had some certifications before, but since that time or whatever, he achieved his final electrical level 2, and he has also achieved all 4 level 3s in electrical, plumbing, building, mechanical. So, next one in line is Tim Johnson. He started with us in July of 2018. He achieved his level 1 building, plumbing, and mechanical and electrical, and he has also achieved his level 2 building, mechanical, and electrical. Next we have in line is Justin Daniel. Justin or whatever just started with us in October of 2021. He was issued all of his plumbing probationary level 1 certificates, building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical. He has already, since that time or whatever, he's already taken 2 classes, his law and admin and his building level 1, passed both of those. He's basically just waiting for the 6-month experience time or whatever per NCDOI to be able to take his state exams for experience. Next one's Paul Wise. He has received all his probationary level 1 certificates in building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical. He is already taking law and admin, building level 1, and his plumbing 1 class. And there again, he's just waiting for a 6-month experience or whatever for those so that he can sit his state exams as well. Last but not least is Kevin Mickey. Kevin started us with January of 2017, and he achieved all of it. He's already achieved all of his level 1, building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical. He has achieved his level 2 in building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical, and he has achieved his first level 3, which is in plumbing. So it's proud to stand in front of you, whatever here. These tests or whatever they take, they're pretty tough. I mean, even though they're an open book exam, they're 3 hours, 150 questions, and there's several parts. You get tested on your law and admin every time you test or whatever. It's just not on that one subject. And I'll give you for example wise, when you take your building to level 1, you can be in 4 books, and they'll pop questions from you from either one. You got to go to either one for it. So it's an achievement or whatever to obtain these. I'm proud of them.
Gentlemen, I appreciate, we'll shake everybody's hand in just a minute up here on this board, but thank y'all for taking the initiative to get these next level certifications. Your job is to via inspections, is to protect the public for what they're purchasing and what they're buying out there and what they see. And so you also help keep our insurance ratings low at the same time, which in turn saves our citizens money here in Fuquay-Varina. Chris, you do a great job of leading this group of individuals up here, and I appreciate them going to the next level to get the next certification. So thank you guys for the hard work.
Yeah, if y'all want whatever, if you want to just walk, start right there, whatever. Greet the commissioners.
Congratulations, man. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
It's all about
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Next presentation on our agenda tonight is a recognition of the fire department staff. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Fire Chief Malden. Chief? Bring them forward.
While they're coming up, I'll go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to recognize these gentlemen here tonight for their latest achievements. I'm very honored to sit up here and tell you what they have done and continue to do for our department and this great town. So first of all, we got Battalion Chief Dustin Grimes, who has completed his associate's degree in fire protection technology from Fayetteville Technical Community College. Also, he has completed the UNC Charlotte Fire Rescue Management Institute in Charlotte. And also one of the latest just has completed the Fuquay-Varina Chamber Leadership Program, the last class that was done. So congratulations on your accomplishments, Chief Grimes. Next we have Senior Firefighter Stephen Butts, who has just completed his career ladder move within the department. He moved from a firefighter 2 to a senior firefighter. So we appreciate his willingness and continue to better himself and better our department in getting those classes and certifications done. Next, we have Firefighter 2 Caleb Thompson, who has also completed his associate's degree in fire protection technology at Johnson Community College. And we have Jake Fields, Firefighter 2 Jake Fields, who had just completed his career ladder promotion through the department, and to get those extra certifications to do that, and from firefighter 1 to firefighter 2. And then we have William Lingle, who has just completed his North Carolina Fire Arson Investigator certification, who is now one of 2 certified fire investigators, arson investigators that we have within our department now. So congratulations to every one of you. We appreciate your work and commitment. I know it's a lot of time and commitment from everything else that we have going on to reach these accomplishments, but I do want to say thank you for doing that, and continue to work hard and continue to progress. We appreciate it, and we thank you for allowing us tonight to be here. And we do have another crowd about this same size that we will get at a later date. They slipped out on me this time, but they won't get me next time. So we will get them next time, but we do appreciate the opportunity to get them in front of you and recognize them.
Gentlemen, thank y'all for coming tonight. And Chief, thank you for bringing them forward. Thank you for y'all taking the time and the opportunities to further your education. I mentioned the Department of Insurance earlier. Y'all are a huge part of our relationship with the Department of Insurance and the ratings that we have in our town and your response times. And this education helps you on your response times, knowing your industry, investigating fires, and knowing everything that's involved right there. And so you willing to to take these classes and to get, and these promotions right here. I know it takes a lot of time for you to do that. So thank you for investing your time in Fuquay-Varina, and Fuquay-Varina is going to continue to invest in y'all at the same time. If you would, shake everybody's hands up here too, please.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
Great night of presentations. Good opportunity to recognize good members of our staff. Next on our agenda, we have recognition of Dawn Russell, Downtown Development Manager in the Main Street America Revitalization Professional Certification. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Economic Development Director McNeil. Tiffany?
Hi. Good evening, Mayor Massengill and Board of Commissioners. I am delighted to be here tonight to recognize Dawn Russell, the Town of Fuquay-Varina's Downtown Development Manager, for being certified as a Main Street America Revitalization Professional. Dawn, can you step up here? This credential is the highest credential available through the Main Street America Institute. Over the past 2 years, Dawn completed training classes and 2 week-long workshops to attain this credential. The certification illustrates her mastery of leadership development, community transformation, and her ability to apply that knowledge to downtown commercial district management. Dawn is currently the only downtown development manager in the state of North Carolina that holds this credential. So we're going to clap. Dawn has served as the town's downtown development manager for the past 3 years. She diligently coordinates downtown development activity within the town's 2 unique downtown districts, along with coordinating and administering the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association, a local 501c3 charged with facilitating the town's nationally accredited Main Street program. Dawn, I know I tell you all the time, but I have to say it here again. Thank you for everything that you do, and we are also very proud of you. And so I want to present to you this way. Well, not much time.
I don't want to take pictures.
Y'all can.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trey. And the certificate reads, Certificate of Achievement, Dawn Russell has successfully completed the requirements of the Main Street America Institute set forth by the National Main Street Center and is hereby recognized as a Main Street America Revitalization Professional.
Dawn does a great job with our downtown and what she's done in the time she invests, not just in one. What? Okay, we'll do that in a second. Dawn has done a great job investing in her time in our downtown as an employee and also her free time. And not only does Dawn she has double duties because we have 2 downtowns for her to manage at the same time. And so Dawn, your time and dedication is seen in there. I know the conversations that we've had together amongst downtown and what you do throughout our organization and in our town, and it's seen down there, your hard work. And so it's a thriving downtown. We can continue to invest in our downtown and continue to make sure it thrives. So thank you for what you've done. Thank you for getting this certification. The only one in the state of North Carolina. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Don't lose her. So that's good. Brandy, would you like to come forward?
I'm not a speaker, but I do want everyone to know that we are very lucky as a town of Fuquay-Varina to have this dual partnership with the town and the Main Street. And we want to let Dawn know that she spends so much of her time recognizing others, planning events to honor others, And we know that it's a hard job to listen to us as volunteers, our gripes and our complaints and our cheers, and then listen to the people that actually pay you. So we just wanted to present this to you on behalf of the board. This is a little kind of a tidbit of Fuquay love for you from us, because we really do appreciate everything that you do. Because if it weren't for you, we would not have this beautiful town and the progressions that we are making.
Thank you, Brandy, for those kind words. Next item on our agenda is the public comment period. At this time, the town clerk will first call on individuals that are in attendance and have registered to address the town board prior to the meeting. Following those who are in attendance, the IT director will call on individuals that have virtually raised their hand via the Zoom app or by telephone. The public comment period is a time for the public to address the town board about any matter that is not the subject of a scheduled public hearing. Those speaking are asked to begin by clearly stating your name and address for the public record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Rose, do you have anybody that signed up?
Yes, we have 5 signed up tonight. The first one is Laura Wyatt.
Laura, please come forward.
Bring my finger out so you can guess what I'm going to talk about. Thank you, Mayor and Town Commissioners. I'm Laura Wyatt, the Executive Director of Western Wake Tennis Association. We're a nonprofit association whose mission is to promote the spirit and growth of tennis in Western Wake County, which includes Fuquay-Varina. And we've helped Fuquay-Varina before with getting grant money to resurface Action Park, and we're currently working with Jonathan Cox to get future grant money for the total a breakdown and rebuild of Action Park. There's USTA money, there's USTA Southern money, and then there's USTA North Carolina money. We'd like to get you funding at all those levels. There's also technical and design assistance that we hope you'll take advantage of. That's free. So one thing that you need to know about tennis is that it's not a build them and they will come proposition. It's build them, program them, and they will come. If you see courts that are empty, it's because there's not enough programming opportunities at this point in Fuquay-Varina, and we are going to be working with your Parks, Recs, and Cultural Resources more to provide more programming. An example that I like to use is little Susie wants to play softball, so she goes and she gets some softball pitching lessons. Well, what's next? There needs to be play opportunity, and that's the same with tennis. So we're going to work with them to help expand the programming. Now, tennis is booming nationally, but you're probably more interested in what's going on locally, so I'll tell you. Western Wake manages the adult USTA leagues, and every year for this spring, we see a 3 to 5% increase in our league, so that's pretty good. This year, we had a 15% increase, and what that accounted for was 35 additional USTA teams. Each USTA team is 12 to 15 people on those teams. So to manage that, we actually scheduled 1,000 matches for our spring adult season. That required about 4,500 courts. Every single match that you go to has 12 to 16 people, and that depends on the format of that particular league. So tennis is booming, and I'm sorry to say that we had 0 teams out of Fuquay-Varina, and we've never had teams in Fuquay-Varina, but we're going to be working with your Parks Department to remedy that. In addition to rebuilding those Action Park courts, between the growth of tennis and the growth of Fuquay, which you guys have done a great job with, but there's a lot more growth coming. You have that new park coming, and I'm going to send you some information about considering building an actual tennis facility of 6 to 8 courts at that facility, and that will not only catch you up to what you probably should have for tennis courts in the area, but also it'll get you ready for the future that's coming. In addition to those regulation courts, we also recommend that you consider dedicated pickleball courts. Pickleball is another growing sport. They deserve a place to play, but it's not the tennis courts. Tennis is a very different sport, the dimensions are different, and the whole play is different. So we hope you'll consider them too, but us first. I'm going to be sending you some information on the growth of tennis, some tennis, the benefits of tennis, and I'm always available to talk. We appreciate working with the Parks, Recs, and Cultural Resources Department, Jonathan. And I did give a brochure to Rose to pass out just about the benefits of tennis, and there are many. And I think you're going to hear from some people that can tell you more about the benefits of tennis. The future's bright here. We just hope it includes a lot of tennis. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Appreciate it. Rose, who do we have next on our list?
David Krismanek.
David, are you here? Come forward, please, sir.
Excellent pronunciation, by the way.
Thank you.
My name is David Krismanek. My address is 414 Dogwood Creek Place here in Fuquay-Varina. Number one, I moved here from Mebane, North Carolina, and I am so glad to be in Fuquay. This is a wonderful, wonderful town, and you guys should be very, very proud of it. I'm very proud to live here, and it's wonderful. Now, talking about tennis, I'm 73 years old, and I play as often as I can. We don't have an organized program here in Fuquay, but just the citizens who love tennis have gotten together. We have a daily group that gets together at Action Park. A bunch of guys, a bunch of women, got together and said, let's meet at 8, let's meet at 9, let's meet at 10, and we come and play. We have another group that gets together on Tuesdays. We did the same thing. We're going to meet at 9 o'clock, and we're going to play competitive tennis. We then got another group together on Thursdays and said we're going to do the same thing. And we use Honeycutt, and we use Fuquay, Action Park. Now, when I moved to Mebane, we had 3 tennis courts. Mebane now has 9 city tennis courts. Mebane is much smaller, much less diversified, much less educated, and much less active than Fuquay. If they can do it, we can do it. And I've also lived in 3 states, played tennis all my life, and I used the high school courts. High school courts aren't available to us. In Mebane, they were available. Chapel Hill, they're available. Graham, Burlington, they were available, but not here. It's a problem. We need those courts. That's all I have to say about tennis. We love it. We want some courts. Now, the last minute I'm going to talk about is Highway 55. We all have to travel on 55 to get to Apex. Monday through Friday, whoever did the transportation did a good job on the stoplights. But that person, whoever did that, decided that on Saturday and Sunday, any car coming in off the side streets, 1 or 2, gets to trip the light. So if you notice, if you're going in and out of Fuquay, it's a traffic jam on Saturdays and Sundays. And I don't know if you can do anything about it, but if you can, please do, because there's 50 cars on 55 going in and out of Apex to Fuquay. And there's 1 car comes on a side street, starting at William Street, and it trips the light. So we're all stopped and backed up, and there's these side streets and cars are coming and going. So it's just something that my wife and I argue about it all the time because we're sitting in traffic. It takes so long. Monday through Friday, you zoom right into Apex, zoom back into Fuquay, and we can't get home on Saturday and Sunday nights. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for your time, and thank you for doing a great job. Love you guys.
Thank you, sir. Rose, do you have next signed up?
I don't know if I'll get this name right or not. Jack McGargle.
Jack, do we have you here still? Jack. Come right on forward, sir. Come forward right here, sir, to the podium if you don't mind, so everybody can hear you.
Howdy, folks. Doc here?
Yes, sir. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay. One day when I was 39 years old and my wife was 39 years old, and my wife's best friend since first grade, we're from Detroit, asked my wife if she wanted to go take tennis lessons at the Birmingham Country Club that she belonged to. So my wife came home And guess what I've been doing every other day since then? Going to tennis courts all over the country and playing tennis, and it's just a wonderful thing, and it's so easy to do. There's courts. I've traveled east and west all over the country. We used to stop when we traveled, out west, stop at a high school, go hit the ball for half an hour and get a lunch and go on our way, So we all love it, and yet I don't know any people really get hurt very badly doing it. And I certainly enjoy it. So anything that can be done to keep it up and back us up would certainly be appreciated. Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir. Rose, do you have his name and information for the record? You do have it? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir, for coming today. Laura did tell me that you were the second oldest member of her organization earlier tonight, so it's pretty neat to have that honor. Rose, who do you have next on your list?
Yes, Charlotte Peters.
Charlotte, are you here? Come right forward. The best part about the organization are your T-shirts. We talked about that earlier. The Action Park Aces. Y'all did a great job making those.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Dave, over there. Okay. I'm Charlotte Peters. I live on 831 Cabin Branch Road, Fuquay. And I've played tennis since I was about 26. I've coached tennis. I've worked for Parks and Recreation in Portsmouth, Virginia, running tennis programs. When I was running tennis programs in Portsmouth, Virginia, the high schools allowed us on the courts when the courts were not being used by the high schools. That made it very convenient for your average citizen to go out and get exercise. And I must say, tennis is a sport for a lifetime. We have one player who's not with us here tonight, but he's 98, I believe. Yeah, in May he'll be 98. I think he has trouble driving at night, so that's probably why he's not here. But myself, I had a stroke a year ago, and I'm 75, and I have counted on tennis since I retired from teaching high school to stay in shape. And when I had my stroke, they said that if there wasn't much hope for any improvement. My entire left side was paralyzed, but because I was in good shape, I beat the odds, and I've actually been back on the court hitting a few tennis balls. Moving to a ball is difficult, but I still enjoy it, and it's such a good sport. If we could put a tennis racket in the hands of every kid in Fuquay, there would be less crime and more happy children. Please do all you can to support your tennis program for the general public. I've always endorsed, I grew up on a tobacco farm, so I'm not a country club person, and I just happened to learn to play tennis on a public court when I was in my 30s. So, and then went from what I learned there to actually coaching high school tennis teams. So there's so many possibilities for the children if they can learn it early. And I appreciate you running your programs, and I hope I can see so much in the future for Fuquay in tennis if you have more courts. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Please, Rose, who do you have next?
Yes, the last one is Emily Holloway.
Emily, who?
Holloway.
Emily Holloway, please come forward.
Good evening. Emily Holloway, 312 Andrew Road. I have two comments to make this evening, and both are related to items that were on tonight's agenda. I would like to begin by saying that my friends and I are very happy that the town has begun the process to get Fuquay recognized as a Tree City USA. Several of us have we've been discussing it for several months, and we're going to start it. And we found out the town went ahead and got it going. Fuquay-Varina and Garner are the last two towns in Wake County to pursue this status. So this will truly be a positive step towards incorporating tree and green space conservation. We're fortunate that you, Mr. Mayor, are a builder and a developer because you are now in the unique position to be a role model. You can demonstrate how trees and green space can be saved and incorporated into new developments. And Fuquay has the opportunity to be an example of sustainable practices. My second comment is tied to what you're going to be talking about in a little bit. It's in regards to the new public parking lot to be built at the corner of Vance Street and Andrew Road, adjacent to the fire station. I live one house down from this location. We, the neighbors, knew when the town purchased this property, it would be used either for a parking lot or to extend the firehouse. My concern, and I have talked to an engineer about it, and there's nothing I know I can do, but my concern is that the parking lot will be asphalt. And I understand that cost is the main factor in this decision. However, I would like to make public my opposition to this. I would love to have more of a permeable surface. Even though trees will be planted, it will take them a long time to get big enough to provide shade. The 50 to 60-year-old perimeter trees and the green belt of shrubs along 306 Andrew property were removed when the lot was cleared. And as you know, we often experience temperatures in the 90s and higher in the summer. While asphalt can increase daytime temperatures by 5 degrees, at night it can cause an increase of 20 degrees due to the absorption and retention of heat. On a 90-degree day, asphalt can reach an average temperature of 145 degrees, and those of you who have been at the farmer's market on Saturday know how hot it can get. It absorbs 90% of the sun's radiation. These facts are easily available through multiple surfaces and sources. And I was just thinking today at the Aldi's parking lot, who doesn't like to find the shaded parking lot in the summer? Not only is it hotter, gases from asphalt release aerosols, which cause pollution and have a strong petroleum smell. And as someone who will be living with this parking lot so close, I would also add that the noise from the traffic and the fire station will increase. The lot is currently grass covered and it does absorb some sound, although nothing like what we had when the trees and privets were in place, and the sounds will reflect at an even louder level. I would like to ask that you please remember this is a residential neighborhood and that you would do whatever you can to help with the noise, the heat, and the headlights that will shine against our homes as the cars enter and exit the lot. I understand that plantings will be made, but I still ask, would you like to have an asphalt parking lot next to your home? I'd also like to ask if the coating, the asphalt, is going to be the, now I didn't write the name down, but it's the kind that will, coal-based tar asphalt, which it can break down and through the heat and run into the storm sewer. And I know that we've got a big stormwater program going on to try and prevent that. Anyway, trees and greenery make us all feel much better.
You're at the 3-minute mark, ma'am.
Yeah, she went over hers too. While we provide
You're
useful
well past
natural
yours.
solutions to urban environments,
Finish your thought,
and
ma'am. It's
Fuquay
the time to
could
sit
and
down.
can become an example of how to sustainably grow and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. Rose, do you have anybody else signed up?
That's it.
Scott, do you have anybody virtually signed up?
No hands are raised.
No hands are raised online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A couple comments in regards to tennis that spoke tonight. I've emailed with some of you before about the tennis facilities here in our town. And so Action Park on our upcoming fiscal year, which our fiscal year ends in June, starts in July, Action Park is programmed in it to have the tennis courts resurfaced and redone right there. So that's one step moving in that direction right there. We also at that same time period are updating our 5-year master plan here in Fuquay-Varina, which will take into account all facilities that either need renovation work or new ones that need to be built. And so that's a public process, and I ask that you please be involved with that and share your thoughts at that time so we can take that. We've heard you tonight, but we can also put that into consideration for the 5-year plan on extending facilities or renovating facilities here in our town. I've also emailed with y'all and spoke with you about, but that the 2 high schools here in Fuquay-Varina have tennis courts, and in the past, Wake County had a partnership with Fuquay-Varina, and so we don't own those fields. We can't immediately put programming on them without Wake County's permission, and the town is working on right now with Wake County. Even though we're both government agencies, they don't ever work as good as they should together, and so working with them on getting permission where we can program Fuquay-Varina tennis on those 2 facilities right there, and so they're working hard on that. You should see that coming in the near future in regards to that. It's great sport. You mentioned also DOT about traffic lights on Highway 55. Town did win grant money for some programming of signalization timing and pairing up traffic lights throughout the town on that. That funding was delayed due to COVID. That funding's coming now. DOT's in the process of that on different intersections. And what I encourage you to do also is if a signal is shortchanging or doesn't seem to be programmed right, please bring that up to either our engineering department here or traffic online on our town's website, or direct to DOT so that we can share that feedback there, because these signals that are controlled by DOT, we can't go to the magic box and change it, but we can advocate for you there on those that need to be adjusted. So thank you for bringing that up tonight, and we can focus on that. Tree ordinances, ma'am, as you mentioned tonight, were approved tonight in regards to that, and that parking lot does have trees and environmental features that are on there. Our engineering department has designed it for stormwater runoff from that standpoint on there. In our town, we do have standards for what we want in our downtown to keep the looks of our parking facilities in our downtown, from paved parking lots and landscaping. And anything new has to follow these regulations. Now we go through a process of older stuff, bringing older stuff up to standards, which is not as easy as new, but it's tough for town of Fuquay-Varina to require other people to pave parking lots and put in landscaping if town of Fuquay-Varina is not going to do that. And so we have to lead on that. Our engineers have designed stormwater there, and Matt's department works with that and continues to make sure that they meet state law and North Carolina ordinances at the same time. So thank you, everybody, for your comments tonight. Appreciate you coming and sharing those here with us. Next item on the agenda is items tabled from previous meetings, which there are no items tabled from previous meetings. Tonight, there are no scheduled further public hearings tonight on our agenda. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. What is the board's pleasure on the items on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to hear more about item F, and
Okay.
notwithstanding any others, I would move that we approve items A, B, C, D, E, and G.
Second.
Okay, sounds good. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Manager, would you mind providing some more information on item F, NC Part F application and master plan adoption, community center north? Or Jonathan, either one of you?
Sure, so I'll just make a few comments. Jonathan may add context. There's not a great deal to add to this at this time, other than the town does intend to pursue a $500,000 North Carolina Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant in order to apply those funds to our Community Center North project. And in order to do that, it requires that the town board give authorization to proceed forward with that grant application, as well as for the town to adopt a master plan for that facility. That's a supporting document that would go along with our application process. So that's the action that's being asked for the board tonight, is to adopt that master plan, which has primarily been vetted and discussed at this board level on numerous occasions prior to tonight's meeting.
Okay. My question is, would those funds subsidize the existing plan, or these funds for any additional concepts?
These would be to subsidize the existing plan.
Okay, that
Yes, sir.
was what I was wondering, because I thought it was a good thing to apply for that extra funding.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's my comment, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Harris, would you make a motion to approve?
I can. I make a motion to approve item 8, what was it?
F.
As presented.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Commissioner Harris. Administrative reports, contract award, ST Wooten Corporation, Vance Street parking lot. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Engineering Director Poland. Thank you, Matt.
Mayor, fellow commissioners. This agenda item is for the contract award to ST Wooten Corporation for the Vance Street parking lot. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider award of a construction contract to ST Wooten for the Vance Street parking lot project in the amount up to $259,176,000. Project scope of work includes parking lot construction at 302 Andrew Road. The .38 acre lot is currently vacant and located adjacent to town's Fire Station 1. New construction will consist of 24 new parking spaces, including 2 handicap spots. In addition, a new sidewalk will be installed along the property. In addition to new parking lot lighting and landscape features. The engineering department prepared formal bid packages for the project, and on September 29th, 2021, the town received 6 bids from licensed contractors. Contractor ST Wooten Corporation was the lowest bidder of $171,416. The start of the project was delayed. Lost my spot, I'm sorry. The start of the project was delayed due to the project's new need for additional design elements specific to pedestrian improvements, lighting, and landscaping. The updated cost estimate for the project is $259,176. Construction is expected to take approximately 90 to 120 days to complete. Town staff has worked with ST Wooten Corporation on previous projects and has been satisfied with the quality of their work. Therefore, town staff recommends awarding a contract to ST Wooten Corporation for the construction of the Vance Street parking lot project in the amount up to $259,176 as presented and recommended. And the fiscal note is that the downtown development fiscal year 22 budget includes funding for the Vance Street parking lot. Project bids received are within the approved project budget. And our motion tonight, recommendation, is to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with ST Wooten Corporation for the construction of the Vance Street parking lot in the amount up to $259,176 as presented and recommended, subject to the town attorney review as to form. And I would be happy to answer any questions about that.
Anybody have any questions for Director Poland? If not, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with ST Wooten Corporation for the construction of the Vance Street parking lot, the amount of up to $259,176 as presented and recommended, subject to town attorney review as to form.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. No further discussion. All opposed, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Director Poland. Item 10B, next administrative report. Resolution and Memorandum of Understanding, North Carolina Department of Commerce and Town of Fuquay-Varina Ordinance Review and Planning Report. More information presented by Planning Director Davison. Thank you, Pam.
The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approval of a memorandum of understanding and adopt a resolution between the Town of Fuquay-Varina and the North Carolina Department of Commerce, Rural Economic Development Division for the North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center to conduct a Central Town and Urban Transition Areas Ordinance Review and Planning Report. This memorandum of understanding aims to enter into an agreement with the North Carolina Department of Commerce, Rural Economic Development Division to provide a no-cost downtown land development ordinance review and planning report. The town has a current need for a downtown ordinance planning review with attention to the suitability of development and growth in the town's downtown areas and urban transition areas inside Judd Parkway. This project's final report will be a valuable resource for town programs relating to planning, downtown development, urban transition areas, historic areas, revitalization, and the town's North Carolina Main Street activities. The Rural Economic Development Division Rural Planning Program is part of the North Carolina Department of Commerce, the state's leading agency for fostering economic development. The North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center provides services and assistance that add value to local community economic development efforts. The mission of theirs is to work in regions, counties, cities, towns, downtown districts, and in designated North Carolina Main Street communities to inspire placemaking through building asset-based economic and planning development strategies that achieve measurable results such as investment, business growth, and jobs. The proposed Memorandum of Understanding agreement is a non-binding agreement. The Memorandum of Understanding outlines the proposed scope of work to be undertaken by the group on behalf of the town. The Memorandum of Understanding has been reviewed by the town attorney as to form. It requires a participating municipality's governing board to adopt a resolution supporting the project. Management and staff recommend approval of the Memorandum of Understanding and adoption of a resolution of support to provide a no-cost review of the town's downtown land development ordinances and planning report with recommendations for the town. There is no cost to the town for the North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center to conduct the ordinance review and planning report. The recommendation is to approve the Memorandum of Understanding and adopt a resolution requesting the services of the North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center for a central town and urban transition areas ordinance review and planning report as presented and recommended. I'm available to answer any questions.
Director Davidson, I think we discussed this at retreat at the same time. Not only were we master planning our downtown at this time, but we're aware of this program that could help us get the ball rolling in that direction too. So this is coming forward from that. And so it's a great plan with what we're planning to do for our town. So thank you.
You're excited about it.
Any board members have any further questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I just think we're very fortunate to have a program like this to help us out that's free. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the Memorandum of Understanding and adopt a resolution requesting the services of the North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center for a central town and urban transition areas ordinance review and planning report as presented and recommended.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Motion and a second. Thank you. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the administrative reports, item 10C, Professional Services Contract Award, CLH Design, Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve Master Plan. Parks, Recreation, Cultural Resources will be presenting more item about this agenda. Director Cox, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Board. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a contract award with CLH Design for the Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve Master Plan. On February 22nd, 2022, the Town Board approved the selection of CLH Design as the best qualified firm to serve as design and engineering consultants for the Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve Master Plan project and authorized staff to negotiate scope and fee for the services. The proposed contract, a copy of which is provided in the agenda abstract for reference, defines a scope of services that includes the following components: base map creation, site analysis, conducting public input meetings, conducting a community survey, developing a conceptual park master plan rendering, providing cost estimates for the construction phase, and the development of a master plan document that will be necessary for future grant opportunities. Public engagement will include in-person opportunities and use of the town Let's Talk FV platform. The proposed fee for the scope is $97,600 with a contingency and reimbursable allowance of $6,000. This rate is consistent with industry norms for master planning services for public projects of similar scope and is within the approved project budget. Management staff recommend approval of the negotiated scope and fee agreement with CLH Design, subject to town attorney review as to form. There is a fiscal note this evening. FY22 budget includes funding for the master planning of Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve. The contract received is within the approved project budget. The recommendation by motion is to authorize the town manager to execute contract with CLH Design for the Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve Master Plan in the amount of $97,600 as presented and recommended, subject to town attorney review as to form. And I'll be happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Any further questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Mayor, I mean, just looking at their plan, their layout, I'm thankful and appreciative of the intentional focus on making sure that we have the citizens' input on what could potentially go there, as we've heard today, possibly tennis courts and everything else. So I see it outlined where they're focused on those, on our major populated events for the next spring and summer, so I definitely appreciate that, so we can definitely get the citizens' support and input on this, so I appreciate that.
I agree, Brian, 100% with you on that. You want to entertain a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve authorize the town manager to execute a contract with CLH Design for the Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve Master Plan in the amount of $97,600 as presented and recommended, subject to the town attorney review as to form.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Final area of business is other business on our agenda tonight. Manager's report. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things to report to the board outside of what is already on the agenda for this evening. First, I just wanted to report that last week I met with Joey Nelson. He is the regional representative for Senator Tom Tillis. He and I met here in town, and we spent quite a bit of time talking about the challenges that the town is facing as a result of growth. We spent a good bit of time talking about infrastructure, speaking about the water partnership between the cities of Sanford, Holly Springs, Fuquay-Varina, Pittsboro, and Chatham County, as well as our transportation goals here in our community. And so I appreciated Joey coming down and spending about an hour and a half time with me last week, and I already know that he has reported back to Senator Tillis on that meeting, because Senator Tillis sent a note saying that he was happy to hear that report and look forward to working with the town on our goals and objectives. So positive news coming out of our relationship with federal government. On that same note, this morning, myself and the members of the Regional Water Partnership participated on a call with Leslie Monzingo with Strategics Consulting. Leslie, as I mentioned to you at a previous board meeting, is a federal lobbyist that we're working with on helping us achieve funding towards this monumental project for our future water capacity for the town. We are working collectively as a group on a coalition name that we'll use to market and promote our effort at the federal level. We are working to provide Leslie some information so that we can go ahead and pursue federal earmark funds by the deadline in early April. So all of us are collectively working close together. We're also going to pursue agency funding at the federal level, the various agencies, EPA primarily, on the premise of water quality and water availability. And so good progress is being made there as well. The North Carolina Main Street Conference happened since our last town board meeting, and that was a virtual conference, but in Fuquay-Varina we made the most of trying to make it both in person and virtual. I think it was a successful several days. We've got some members of our FVDA here in the audience tonight, and I think maybe Dawn had to scoot, but and then is she in the back? I can't
she's
see
there.
her. She's hidden by the pole, maybe. There she is. Okay. But a successful, I think, successful several days of learning and being better informed about how we can continue to invest and plan for our downtown. And of course, as we are moving forward with budget development and putting a budget plan together for the board's consideration, we are certainly keeping in mind the inclusion of a downtown master plan process in that. So just wanted to make sure that you all knew that that conference did happen, and it was a successful several days here in Fuquay-Varina. Not only from the standpoint of learning, but also just from the standpoint of getting together with those that are invested in and feel strongly about our downtown. All sitting around the table and sharing our vision and goals always is a positive use of time. The budget process continues to plug and chug away. April 12th is our town board budget workshop, and as you know, there's a lot of work that goes into the front end of preparing for that, and that starts with management sitting down with department directors and negotiating, if you will, on how we're going to be able to put together a balanced budget plan. That is happening, and we're probably a good 30 to 40% through that process. We'll be ready for April 12th when we get together and meet on that. I was invited, I've done this numerous times over the course of 20 years or so, but I've been invited to participate in the North Carolina League of Municipalities Legislative Policy Action Committee. This is the committee that will work to help establish legislative goals for the League of Municipalities, ultimately to be decided upon by League board members later this year. We had our first meeting, first of, I think, 4 or 5 meetings that will be coming up over the next 4 or 5 months to help establish the legislative goals and policies for the league and its members. And the first meeting was the last week, and it was a productive meeting as well. Probably, I would say 50 or so city managers and elected officials from across the state participating in that process. So making good progress along those lines. I won't mention anything about the TCC Annual Meeting because I'm sure Mayor Massengale will. May 1st, there is a Wake County Preservation Celebration hosted by the Capital Area Preservation Incorporated and the Wake County Historic Preservation Commission. And this event will be held right here in Fuquay-Varina at our very own Arts Center. And some of you, I guess, maybe got some of these on your table here. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. And so if you're available on May 1st to attend, I would encourage you to do that. I also believe that the Fuquay-Varina Museums are going to try to have an event that same day to encourage people to come and learn more about the history of Fuquay-Varina as well. So I would encourage you to try to plan to be there if you're available. This evening, while I could, and I know Matt Poling, our engineering director, did as well, attended the virtual public meeting for the NC Department of Transportation public engagement phase on U5751. This is the North Carolina Highway 55 bypass project. This is a pretty substantial and transformational project that is being planned for here in Fuquay-Varina. It would involve the realignment of the 5 Points intersection where 401, 55, and 42 converge. It would also move in a more efficient manner 55 traffic from south to north, back integrating into Judd Parkway and back ultimately to 55 north towards Holly Springs in a more efficient flow and pattern without having to send that traffic as it presently goes through town and right on Ennis Street or on Judd Parkway, if you will, to make the shortcut. And so this is going to be anywhere between an $80 and $100 million investment eventually in the community. This meeting kickstarted the public engagement phase. The meeting was recorded since it was virtual, and it will be available on NCDOT's project website within the next 2 to 3 days. As soon as we hear that it has been uploaded, we'll send that information out to board members so that at your leisure you're able to go and listen and view what was discussed at that meeting. I will say that public comment for this project will end on April 22nd. So any comment that the public wants to make, they need to do between now and April 22nd, and then DOT will close that phase of the process. I don't know exactly how many, but because we weren't able to see the participant list of people who are on this call tonight, but I do understand based on the NCDOT folks what they were saying that there was quite a lengthy participant list. I did hear from folks living in Smith Farm subdivision, Harrison Place subdivision, Sipahall subdivision. So I know that there was a wide array of individuals in our community that were participating, wanting to learn more about how this project may or may not impact them and their property. So do take a moment when you get an opportunity to listen to that virtual meeting, the recorded virtual meeting when it becomes available. Making progress on the land use plan. Our hope is to have a document and map up on the town's Let's Talk FV and town website by the end of this month, shooting for March 30th, to give an opportunity for the public to engage and give feedback on future development and future land use potential for our community prior to the April 17th planning board meeting? 18th planning board meeting. So we want to get several weeks of good input and feedback from the public before the planning board takes their first opportunity to give feedback on this important process of sort of retooling and updating our land use plan process. We are making good headway with that, and there are some deliverables that I know that Assistant Manager Seymour has provided to you for your consideration. And as we continue to tweak and make some adjustments before we put it online, we'll continue to provide that information to the town board as well, so that you can be up to speed and as real time as possible on that. And then finally, I would like to say, and we'll try to, our communications director is out of the office this week, but when she gets back, we'll try to provide some examples. But we did put the opportunity for the public to provide comment and feedback on our employees on Let's Talk FE. And my understanding from our communications director is that we're getting substantial response on that, which is a good thing. That tells us that, that our employees are hopefully doing their jobs, and the public is pleased with the service that we're providing. We're getting some very complimentary responses for our employees, and so we're trying to deliver those to our directors, and management's getting copies of them along the way, so we can all be sort of in tune. We want to share those with the board as well. You too might like to congratulate our employees for the good jobs that they're doing. Included in your agenda materials, Thursday, April 7th, our first of 3 spring concerts, Follow Me to Fuquay-Varina concerts, are back on for 2022, and we're kicking it off in a big way with chairman of the board. So it's going to be hopefully the weather will be good, and it'll be a fantastic night in downtown Fuquay-Varina. Hopefully people will come from both in the community and outside the community to enjoy that concert, spend a little money in downtown Fuquay-Varina. That would be great as well. 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Centennial Park. Easter egg hunt is scheduled for Saturday, April 9th. This time it's going to be our community is outgrowing South Park for Easter eggs, so we're going to have it at Fleming Loop Park this year, the Easter egg hunt, and it's I think we said it's going to be how do we term it? Instead of a hunt, it's going to be more like a dash and grab, an Easter egg dash and grab.
We're a dash more.
That's exactly right. We're a dash more. How many eggs are we going to have out there, Jonathan? 32,000 eggs. If you can't find one at Fleming Loop Park, you have no chance of finding one anywhere else. 32,000 eggs. It's going to be a fun day. And then also on Saturday, April 9th, is the Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association Downtown Candy Hop. And that's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So 10 a.m., dash and grab an egg, and then 11 to 2, maybe not dash through downtown, maybe spend a little time in downtown, but get some candy along the way with kids, grandkids, or just yourselves if you have a sweet tooth. And then again, our budget workshop Tuesday, April 12th, 6 p.m. here in this room. That said, Mr. Mayor, I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, for that report right there. Next item on our agenda, town board member comments. Commissioner Gardner.
Well, I'd just like to say that our Fuquay-Varina Downtown Board of Directors is very proud of Dawn and her achievement, and pretty pumped that she's the only one in the state right now. So we're taking the lead here, and I like that. In addition to the candy hop, the candy hop, which will be set, just announced April 9th from 11 to 2 in our downtown. We will also be hopping with our peeps again this year. You remember, it's a project that takes cut-out wooden-shaped peeps, peep-shaped wooden rabbits, whatever. And they have been adopted and will be decorated and on display at the fire department the first week in April. So you can be looking for that. And another event, this is the time of year for our events for downtown, our staff, which is right now Dawn. And our lots of volunteers are, gearing up for a big season that will take us all the way to June when we have Dinner on Depot this year, and it will include on plein air. So we got a lot going on in this time of the year, and look forward to the whole town participating with us. I am also liaison with the Museum Board of Directors, and they have got a couple of activities planned for this spring. They are still now just doing tours by appointment only, as we are edging out of the COVID time when we weren't having tours at all. In addition to that, they will have the museums open the day that we have the Capital Area Historic Preservation meeting here. And then again, they will be open on Saturday, May 7th for our annual Heritage Day. I hope that everyone will see some good publicity about that. It's a chance for individuals who are interested in our town's history to come and have some special presentations, and all of the museums will be open. And it's some activities for the kids, and it's always sometimes we have some demonstrations of older crafts and things that are part of our heritage here in Fuquay-Varina. So keep that in mind. That will be, again, Saturday, May 7th. And one other thing that the museums are working on right now, lots of times as we evolve and develop and grow so rapidly as we have been doing, some of our symbols of our history get put aside or you put away and forgotten about. And that happened to the bell that used to be, it's been in several different places, but the most recent would be in the bell tower that still exists on the edge of the Fuquay Middle School campus, right in front of the library building. You can see where the bell used to be, but somebody found it almost covered in debris and whatever, and it has been given to the museum. So we have a specialist that's going to be working with us on what we need to do with the bell, but that'll be something you'll probably see at the museum now. But it has been an important fixture at least two of our schools, I think. So that's all I have tonight.
Commissioner Garner, on May 7th, Shirley Simmons has reached out about that stuff too, in regards to that stuff there, so we'll be chatting some more about that, closer toward that. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for those comments. Commissioner Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to congratulate the staff who have applied themselves to learn more and to become even better at their particular craft. I think what we saw tonight, the staff is to be commended on continuing to improve and continuous learning. I think that makes the town a better organization, as well as it reflects upon the interest in really providing services for the here. So to the staff and to everybody who was recognized tonight, I'd like to say also thank you very much. As well as to Don, congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate the effort for the certification. And I also would like to make a few other comments, Mr. Mayor. Of course, for those of you who attended the Cultural Arts Society's event, we appreciate the committee for putting on such a fantastic night. I thought that it was excellent for the Cultural Arts Committee and the support of the mayor and the other commissioners. I think that was excellent. That happened on March the 11th. On March the 13th, for those of you who don't know, I'm second vice president for the North Carolina League of Municipalities. And annually, the National League of Cities has an annual conference in Washington, D.C. And I was afforded the opportunity to attend that conference, as well as the opportunity, the executive committee of which I'm a part, we met with the members of Congress. We met with Representative Price, Representative Deborah Ross, Senator Burr, and Representative Ted Budd. And that gave me an opportunity to talk about what we're doing here in Fuquay-Varina. And because we were there, part of the conversation we were having was in response to the President's American Rescue Plan. And a lot of those funds go for infrastructure improvement. And of course, I mentioned our efforts here in regards to seeking out additional water sources here in Fuquay-Varina. And I asked for funding. I don't know where that's going to go, but I did. So I just took that opportunity. You couldn't be in that environment and not ask for some money. So I did. And then today we had a congressional luncheon with Representative Price and Representative Deborah Ross again. And a lot of the conversation is about what we here in Wake County, the Triangle area here in North Carolina, what can we do in response to managing those funds that come to our particular state. I think North Carolina received $1.3 billion, and then other municipalities received proportionate amounts. And a lot of those funds were encouraged to be geared toward issues respective, of course, to infrastructure growth, affordable housing, and those kinds of funds that improve the general quality of life in the community. So those kinds of experiences over the last month have been very rewarding for me, and I look forward to continuing and look forward to my fellow commissioners to attend the City Vision Conference that's going to be in April. And I just hear the town manager aware of the policies that will be presented. At that time, the league will vote on those particular legislative policies that will have an impact on cities and towns throughout the state. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, Commissioner Harrison, everybody on this board, anytime you're in a room with anybody that has a checkbook, please ask for money. Fuquay-Varina said, thank you, Commissioner Harrison. Commissioner Haynes, any comments?
Sure, just a few. I honestly, just before anything, just want to thank the citizens, for coming out, speaking their thoughts. I think every meeting that helps us, one, expand our mindset, our thoughts, and how we continue to plan and make and vote on different decisions for the town of Fuquay-Varina. So definitely, and then just to see the kids' zeal tonight with everything they did, from the Pledge of Allegiance to everything, was just amazing. Also, all the departments who were recognized today, definitely, it's always good when I see one of my classmates, Battalion Chief Grimes, get some recognition. So it's always good to see Fuquay-Varina High School alumni up there. So that's always a good thing. A few different things. I was kind of out of pocket and missed a lot right after the board retreat because I was in training for work, which was very mandatory. So I definitely was trying to keep up with everything on Facebook and social media as much as possible while I was gone. A few things is definitely excited about Tree City USA project. That's one of the things that I was working towards during my campaign for sure. So glad to see that going on. Also, another big initiative that's kind of started that a lot of people don't really know about is called Porch Fuquay-Varina. It was actually brought to me by Ben Somerville, Cultivate Coffee, which is where it's a national organization that really focuses on helping to make sure that we stamp out hunger. So what he does is you get your neighborhood to put stuff on the front porch in bags, and Ben and his whole crew will go around to different neighborhoods in Fuquay-Varina and actually pick those up off your porch, and they will deliver them to local food pantries. So we're working with all the local food pantries, and we're trying to get more neighborhoods in the town of Fuquay-Varina to jump on board. They just delivered some yesterday, actually, a big thing. So he's brought it to Fuquay-Varina, and that's an exciting thing. Also, I thought one of the neat things I also saw was the Junior Women's Club with the new, I'm thinking of book library because we have so many all over town. But it's the baby box where people can go get the Pampers and the formula and different things, because those are things that are needed when it's 12 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock in the morning, different things like that. So definitely, that's an amazing thing. And also, I know the Rotary Club is actually working to have some mini food pantries, to where when the local food pantries are not open, they can go in the middle of the night. We're trying to work to figure out how we can get some refrigeration there, so if somebody needs a gallon of milk or something in the middle of the night, they can go there and pick up that milk and different things. So definitely excited about that. I'm on the Fuquay-Varina Coalition, which is focused on substance use prevention, which actually came out of and really originally was Citizens Against Drugs, but now it's kind of been taken over with a partnership with the Post Center. And it was actually something interesting that that was brought to my attention and brought to a lot of our attention that, in the town of Fuquay-Varina, we're like one of the only towns in Wake County that doesn't have any written smoke-free, 100% smoke-free regulations in the town of in our county, which is interesting when I saw that. So definitely they're working, and I was thinking that maybe we can start with our parks, having those 100% smoke-free areas, because you don't want to be at the ball game and somebody's next to you with smoking, which we also understand, but it also helps to keep our young people from smoking in our parks and possibly burning down a facility or a shelter or anything like that. So that'll help starting to push that substance substance abuse as a whole with tobacco and vapes and different things is really taking a toll on our young people. So starting to have those things to show them that the town of Fuquay is like, look, we're trying to work to do be 100% tobacco free. So that's one thing that they really are pushing towards. They've had working with the police department and had multiple things at Fuquay-Varina High School focused on vapes and smoke-free environment. So definitely excited about that, and just excited about all the events I see that are going on in the next few weeks. Definitely, I miss getting in that Easter bunny outfit for the Easter egg hunt all those years, but so definitely excited about that again.
You'd be a great Easter bunny.
He is a great Easter.
You'd be a great one. Thank you, Commissioner Haynes, for your comments. Commissioner Watson.
Oh, thank you. I was excited today when I pulled in and saw the parking lot full of cars. I think it is great when the citizens come out to recognize their coworkers and to take part in the town meetings. It's really important, and something I was glad to see that I had to hunt around for a parking spot when I pulled in today. I'm hosting a shred event on Saturday, this coming Saturday. It will be in the parking lot over at the Chamber of Commerce from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. No charge. We just ask that you remove your binder clips. You can leave staples and paper clips on them. Mako Documents will be the company bringing it there. Again, no charge. Bring as much as you have. So clean out all those documents from tax time and take them over Saturday, 10 to 1. It was fun to see the kids in here they were super excited doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, I think, because of the pollen, so I apologize. The monarch butterfly is one of my favorite butterflies. I have a painting of one in my house. It is the strongest and I think the prettiest of all butterflies. And it flies over 2,000, they fly 2,000 miles to migrate, so they're really cool. So I was excited to have the kids come in and for us to do that proclamation. That's fun. It was also good to have all the folks in here winning their awards. I like that part of recognizing our staff, and continuing education and schooling is really important. It's important for them on a personal level, just to get personal knowledge, but also, as the mayor said, it's also really important for us as a town, for our insurance and for keeping our costs down, and also for our citizens. So I always love when we get to take part in that recognition and honor them. Let's see, what else do I have down here? The Main Street. Bob was very short in his words tonight, but when we had our celebration, he was a little more, he had a little more words. But he told a really cool story that I actually wrote some notes down about his son when he was going to college, and it was a while back, and he did a video. And his son's video was chosen by, I think it was the Discovery Channel, to show. So Discovery Channel came to Fuquay and did a video, and it said that Fuquay-Varina was just a small pass-through town. And that really struck Bob, and that was part of what made him start getting more involved. It was that comment about our town. And we are all setting up here. We went to our retreat, and we talked a lot about the future of our town, what we want it to look like, and I will guarantee you it will not be a pass-through town. that this is already, and we are working to making it even better, a town where people want to live and work and play and stay. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. Mayor Pro Tem Smith, any further words?
They've mentioned a lot of good stuff tonight. I'm not going to dwell on a lot of it. I do want to just talk about a couple things. The Main Street Champion Celebration event with Bob Barker and Pat Barker. Just a quick story. When I became the new police chief in 2005 and moved to Fuquay-Varina, there was a chamber event down at the wedding venue with the tent and all, and my wife was out of town, and so I was at home, going to be on standby, I guess, at the police chief, and Bob and Pat Barker called me and asked me to join them as their guest at their table at that event. And I was brand new, didn't know a whole lot of people, and I've never forgotten that. And that's the kind of man and family that the Barker family is. They have done so much for this community, not only for the community at large, but just for individuals like me. Reach out and made me a part of the community. I've never forgotten that, because I was kind of blown away. At that time, he was a town board member. I was a brand new chief, didn't know anybody, and next thing I know, I'm sitting with him and his family, enjoying an evening with them, and it was just very nice. I reminded him of that tonight, and it's something that I've always remembered and appreciated. I was very happy I got to go to that event. I kind of put myself out there, Mr. Mayor, when I went with you to the grand opening of Dunkin' Donuts on North Main Street near 1010 on the north end of Tcc. Chief Malden's laughing. It's been a long-time joke. When I was police chief, he picked on me a lot about my love of donuts, and I put it out there on Facebook. Hey, I was at this great event, and some of my so-called friends took pot shots at me about how many donuts I ate, and the mayor will attest that I drank a lot of coffee, but I resisted the donuts.
I ate them for you.
But it was a great event, and all joking aside, to see, again, just more and more businesses that are choosing our community, and that area of the community is going to grow with the highway coming through there. And we told them just to wait. The drive-through line is going to be full soon. I also attended the Cultural Arts Society event at the Arts Center. Had the ability to go there and the opportunity to go there and hear. My wife and I both went and heard some great young talent with some of the high school kids who were there, some outstanding adults who had some great talents, to include our own Commissioner Harris. My wife and I saw Commissioner come in, and Wendy just picked on him a little bit. He said good evening to her, and she picked on that she was depending on him to do a good job because she'd come to hear him. And I want to say that hearing the musical stylings of Commissioner Harris was the highlight of the evening for me. You did a great job. I wanted to call you out for that because I have zero musical talent, so I'm always appreciative of people that have it. It was a great event. I enjoyed being there. Just a lot, as Commissioner Garner said, it's fixing to be busy season for us. My calendar is getting full of one event after another, but that's the great thing about our community. We've got great employees, as we saw tonight. We've got great citizens who come and engage, and we've got great events planned from now until on into the summer. And it's just an exciting time to live here and be a part of it. Looking forward to it. That's all I got tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, sir. Good words, Mr. Donut King. Several of you mentioned up here about the enjoyment of when we are able to recognize staff managers. So thank you for doing that, and please continue that in the future because we do appreciate getting to do that. The Triangle Community Coalition, we visited and spoke with them. They had a panel of 3 mayors across Wake County, myself, mayor of Knightdale, and mayor of Holly Springs, to talk about their communities and how we're handling infrastructure. And notice the buzz everybody's talking about is infrastructure and how to handle that. And so we did a good job discussing that and understanding direction to that community also on as they invest in our community and what we can expect out of them. And so we did have a very good meeting that day. It was about 75, 150 people in attendance, and so it was well attended in person, plus whoever was online. Next year, we're hoping to have the Main Street Conference in person. And Dawn, we got to do everything we can, have it in person. Until the powers at be, we will not accept anything less. I will not accept anything less, because we did a very good job on having a virtual conference and making the best out of it. But in person is what makes the difference, and the time that can get together and do things and plan for our community. And those of you that attended events relative to that, thank y'all for doing that, and it was much appreciated. And we I look forward to that being in person next year. Commissioner Harris, you are quite talented when it comes to playing the instruments and such, and so we did enjoy that evening, as you know, and I appreciate you making those comments earlier, and you do a good job at that. I can't hardly whistle, so good job. Good job on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I had a lunch with a variety of employees of ours that stemmed from, remember at Christmas Employee Luncheon, we give out raffle tickets and prizes and all kinds of different things at the Christmas Luncheon. And this year we had about 2-to-1 ratio of prizes to give out back then at the Christmas party. So meaning that we had every other employee was able to pull their name and get something at that. And so that was really great, able to do that. And I mentioned that back in January and December at that time period. And one of them, what the prizes I had donated was to go out, take an employee to lunch and all of his coworkers, friends, anybody he wanted to go. And so we had that. It was Justice Battle in the Parks and Rec Department. And he invited some of his friends and coworkers, and they were across 3 different apartments. I thought that was pretty neat, too. So it shows you the friendship and partnerships that our staff makes across different departments and builds relationships right there. And so I had a bunch of them, took them out to lunch, and so we had a really good time at the Aviator Smokehouse, and they taught me some different entrees on there that I had not had before. One of them, about 4 or 5 of them, enjoyed getting a plate with a pile of meat about this tall on it, and I loved it. It was great. It had a great time, and so we did that for a couple hours. And so I appreciate Wendy also helping to put that together in our Human Resources Department. So I enjoyed doing that very much. Variety of good things coming up. Look forward to these next events we have. I know we do not have closed session anymore tonight. The next meeting we will have that. Appreciate everybody's time here tonight. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, meeting adjourned.